Hi everybody. Now we're doing side control. So, side control is when a person has passed your strongest defense, which is your legs, and your weaker part of your framing and defense, which is your arms. So the number one thing when I'm in any inferior position is to give this person the deference that they deserve. It doesn't matter if they're a lower belt than me, they've been training less than me, whatever it is that might be of a lesser degree than I am, at that point in time, they're better than me. So it's always important to keep that in mind when you're defending yourself in an inferior situation. My passive and active frames are going to work together to ultimately get me back into a point where I can be combative again, whether that's getting back up to my feet, regarding, or launching immediately into a submission position, such as like an omoplata or the danger zone in a triangle. This is going to require me to use my passive frames, to use my hips, and my active frames to create little wedges and pieces of space between me and my opponent so that I can get myself back into a position where, again, like I said, to either regard, attack, or begin to stand up or create a scramble. Now we're going to model actually using these things from side control. So he magically made me spin around and Pyongy's in side control. Or I don't know how I ended up here. Maybe I've been locked inside for 2 days and I just woke up like this. And he's past my guard, which is pretty impressive because we weren't even living together. But whatever it is, Pyongy passed. Now, one of the first things I always look to do is make a frame on the side that my head is underhooked on when I'm in our standard side control. So I'm going to wedge that in and drive it in. And I like to go until my hand is just cupping the hip and the frame is along like the top 2/3 of your forearm here. This is important because if he goes down to collapses by moving his hips, I can push against it and it'll help move me. If he's looking to knee me in the head, because we're in pride rules, I can keep this out here. It won't take everything off, but I can take a big chunk of that by maintaining connectivity. Now, my leg closest to him, I want a floating active frame. Because I'm not just dangling it here, and I'm not up like this. I need to have contact with his ribs with my thigh. I don't want my foot to connect here. This really leads for a number of options. You can drive it towards me, turning my hips, exposing my arm, my neck, and the back take. He could thread through in this and turn my body, killing my hips, right? Leading to more bad things like quarter mount. If I'm here, he can pull on this side and pull, I don't know, maybe why he wouldn't do that, but it gets me turned over. Again, leading to more passes and opening me up. Whereas here, if I'm here and he goes to push it like he's going to look to mount, I can kick around. I can really be annoying with it. And sometimes I can catch like starting a crucifix from underneath. So I want this not attached to anything else and engaged. Okay? Now we want to deal with this outside arm. I can frame underneath here if I'm able to. I can keep it here and use my shoulder to bump. I can also try to make some space and underhook. For myself, because of some old injuries, I don't have a lot of success with this. If Pyongy was really putting a ton of pressure on, it really begins to hurt my elbow. So I don't like that. But for a lot of people, you don't have screwed up joints yet, hopefully never, this is a really good frame. Because he can't put all his weight down because he's driving into his own jaw or his neck. Right? Like, push into me. Push into me. Choke yourself. He doesn't want to. So, a lot of times the thing is he'll have a tight underhook here. So you get that in. He has pressure here. So, with this, I need to keep that in there. If I need to, I usually can grab this and pull away to, give myself some space. Because if he has this, my head's turned away, that's no good for me. It's going to be really hard to move. Boom. And I'd rather be in here with my jaw into his shoulder, and he can drive pressure into there, but it lets my spine be aligned in a way that I can move. This, along with using a post on the ground, I can bridge into him to make space, bring my elbow in and connect. Or if I'm trying to, like, say, more wrestle, I can bump, come with an underhook, and now I have space here. He can drop down on me, but just fall out. It allows you to start moving and looking for reversals and back takes and all sorts of other stuff. So that is how my frames primarily engage here. So I'm just going to show real quick how this kind of looks in a real-time situation when a person's gotten to side control, they're solidifying position, and I'm looking to make frames, to make space, to get back to half guard and full guard. See, I'll put some pressure on. So here, I'm going to fight this in. And I get here now. My bottom, you stand up for a second. My bottom, so you sit down. My bottom shin has hooked along here, preventing a lot of movement. He can't step out that way, and it'll pull me this way. Anything movement that he's going to do here is going to take some weight off of it, which will allow me to grab. So come back down to side control. I've gotten here, and I drop my leg down as a frame on his shin. So he starts moving, trying to get past my guard again. Right? I can push. At the very least, get back to half guard. Maybe if his arm's blocking here, so maybe I'll come back out and frame out. Right? So much of it is going to depend upon how the person on top reacts as well. Knowing that there's just better choices and worse choices. He's not going to have this all the way down here because he knows I'm going to get trapped. But he's not just going to sit up because it gives, there's way too many things, especially in the modern game of leg locking, that's going to open up. So he might just drop back down, but I'm back in the fight. So as I've established this frame with my right arm here against his hip, one of the first things I always look to do is connect this knee to my elbow, making a continuous frame so that this whole chunk of myself is taking his weight. Sit up for a second. So you can see it's here. So even if he drops down on me and I can't regard at all, this keeps some of his weight, which also means I can manipulate him a little bit. Possibly even get to a guard. Please remember to, one, only do this under the supervision of Josh, because no one else will ever teach you correctly. And two, to do it over and over and over again. Practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes for perfect execution. We will never hit perfect, but that's the goal we should always strive for.